Thank you, and thank all of you all. And I think most of you know I come from West Virginia, a little wonderful little coal mining state and extraction state, heavy lifting state, heavy working state, and a lot of people that have given everything to this country. They never thought at one time when in 1946, the Krug-Lewis Act at that time was saying that for every ton of coal to be mined, that there would be money set aside from that ton of coal that would take care of their pensions and retirement because of the difficult jobs they were doing and the need of this country to have the energy. They did everything they could do to. Average pension in miners is about less than $600, and most of that's going to widows because their spouses have paid the ultimate price. So we're not dealing with $2,000, $3,000 pensions at all. We're dealing with survivability. We were asking, you know, we passed a bill called the Miners Protection Act. We passed half of it. And I was asking my colleagues and my friends on the Republican side, you know, at that time, please, let's pass this entire bill because we had a fix. We were using AML, abandoned mine land monies, that we had excess that would have taken care of the cash infusion. We'd have been in good shape, and we'd have not been here. We'd have been helping our friends in Malta State and Central State. But we're in this now. We're the first ones to go down the tube. If ours breaks, we have basically one major employer paying 80% of the cash flow coming into the system now. That person has one hiccup or something happens along the way, we're in severe problems and we go down much quicker. And then the whole thing starts to unravel. So you all have just said, and I think Mr. Lynch, and I would think that Mr. Naughton and Mr. Ryle, and I know Mr. Stribling, you're the end result here. You're the face of what we're dealing with, and we have all of our miners and their families back here. But none of you disagree. I don't think, Mr. Ryle, I haven't even heard you. You understand we have to have some fix. It's going to take an infusion of cash. I think all of you have agreed to that. We could have fixed ours before, but we can't now. So now we're going to need an infusion with the mine workers for basically a fix. So you're all in that position, right? It takes some sort of a fix. It can't be fixed on its own without an infusion of cash.
An infusion of cash from where?
I'm just saying infusion of a loan. How do you think it can be fixed without a loan?
So, listen, as has been said thus far, there is little that can save plans that are insolvent. And I just want to, you know, I'd like to express actually great admiration for you, Mr. Stribling, and for a life of very hard work. And the American economic system is founded on the idea that factors of production, capital, and labor will be compensated when they contribute to the process of production. It's clear you've personally contributed a tremendous amount, and that the promises that have been made to you are in danger of not being kept. I think the question is, what is the role of the federal government when agreements between employers and trade unions go wrong and people like Mr. Stribling are hurt? Is it to provide loans which are going to be tantamount to bailouts of the plan? Or is it primarily to ensure that the responsible parties are held liable for the contractual obligations? You know, I think employers enter these agreements, these arrangements, they are responsible, and so I think as a first pass we should be tightening the withdrawal liability rules.
Mr. Ryle, I'm sorry, I only have so much time. You're taking all my time. With that being said, I can tell right now you and I are in a complete different universe, okay? Completely different. And with that being said, there's a responsibility. We've got real people, real people's lives, families involved right now. And as I think my good friend Congressman Neal said, didn't hesitate. Didn't hesitate on the banks, didn't hesitate on the auto, didn't hesitate on anything else when there was large corporate stockholders involved, all the different things that basically happened. We come to the aid immediately overnight. I wasn't here. I understood you worked in the 24-hour turnaround on some of this. All we're asking for is if they'd have done what we asked for with the mine workers, you have AML money, we'd have been out of this. We're not. We can't fix it now unless we have some assistance.
I believe you should have hesitated on those corporate interests, by the way.
Should have hesitated?
To bail out those corporate interests.
I wish you'd have come and testified at that time. I didn't hear you speaking up then.
If I had been invited, I would have gladly done so.
Yeah, you can always come. It's an open space.
Feel free.
What we're looking for is solutions right now. And I'm just saying that we've been talking here for, what, 6 months? We were created when? And we're talking in by November. We haven't gotten any closer. So we're going to have to come to agreement somehow. Is there some infusion of money? Some sacrifices have been made. I don't know how much of a sacrifice that anybody can, I think, consciously ask a miner to say, okay, you're making $582. Can you give us something back? That's ridiculous. And so you're asking for sacrifices on that side, and we're not asking for anything other than basically stepping forward and getting this done. The quicker we get this done, the better we are. Every month goes by, every year goes by, we're in trouble. So I'm asking my friends, sooner or later, we've got to have a bipartisan discussion, just us only, us sitting in a room.
We will. Let's get all the facts.
I know that. And I'm asking for that as soon as we possibly can, to find out what we can agree on that we think is reasonable, that we can move forward on. Because we're coming down to where we're going to have to make a decision. We're going to run out of time and say, well, I'm sorry, we have no solution.
Senator, time is up, Senator Scott.
Yeah, I know. I figured that would happen. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.